Alright, piston 1 is done. I've got it in there. Piston cylinder number 1. Got the rod and the bearing on. I did check the clearance on this one with plastic gauge. Came out to about 2000s, which is plenty in spec. I'm assuming all the other ones are good. I haven't decided if I'm going to check them or not, but got it on there. Got it torqued down to spec. She spins, piston up and down. I'm assuming that's pretty much all I need to check for, so I'm going to keep going. These are kind of taking me a while to do. He had the rod bearings, or the cap on there, cranked down to some ungodly amount of torque, and I had to actually bust out my little vise over on the bench there to get this thing off and hammering on it. So he's got them really on there, but managed to get the first two off, so I'm going to keep going with that. Seems to be going pretty smooth, and I'll keep going. 1357 done. Time to keep moving on. I didn't check the clearances on the other guys. Honestly, it's got to be close. The machine shop did a pretty dang good job. Everything else I've checked has been within tolerance. Everything's good, and after I got a few of these guys in and got a little hard to turn, so I just threw the pulley wheel on there. Sorry, the harmonic balancer, just for now, with the bolt on. I got the pulley wheel somewhere over there. I got to clean it up, and I got to take the thing off to paint anyways. But for now, that'll work, just so I can turn her over a little bit easier and flip her over and do all the evens, and then we'll turn a little bit and we'll see how it goes. Well, there she is. She's got all 8, and she turns pretty good. I was really worried for a little bit there. As soon as I got piston 2 in, I had already done 1, 3, 5, and 7, and then I got the second one on one side, and it barely snugged up. I could barely fit it. I had to tap it on with a hammer. Tightened her down to spec, 40 pounds, and it just wouldn't turn. It would barely turn. I thought, oh crap, screwed something up. Took it all apart, and then I plastic gauged it. Plastic gauged both of them on 1 and 2, because I thought, well, crap, something's wrong. And everything was to spec within 15 to 20 thousandths for both, so I thought that was fine. Made sure I got the right caps, made sure I got everything right, and I'm pretty sure I had everything right, and still wasn't going very good, so I loosened them up. As soon as you loosen them up to, finger tight, maybe a little bit more, spins like a dream. Super easy. Tighten them down all the way to spec, really hard. So I kind of incrementally just increased the pounds, did about 10 or 15, cranked it a few times, and it would loosen up a little bit, crank it down a little more to 40 pounds. Eventually it worked, and then I added on another piston, and it kind of did the same thing. So I don't know if you just got to break them in a little bit, or if that lube, the assembly grease or whatever's got to get in there. I even took it upside down like this, and then just put oil kind of all up on top. This whole thing lives in oil anyways, so kind of bathed it a little bit just so it'd get in all the seams, in between the two caps and the counterweights, and just try to get oil, a little bit seeping into all of them. And now I've got all 8 in there, and she seems to go good. I don't know. I suppose most of the turns are a little good, and then when it hits a certain point, it's a little hard, or maybe I'm just imagining things. I don't know, but she spins pretty good. I'm going to call that a day. I think I solved my problem. So I've got all 8 in here. Gosh, I don't even know what's next. I think at this point I probably have to start doing the oil pump. Get the windage tray in here. That all hooks on the back there. So I think I'm going to have to watch a few more videos. Got the timing on there just to crank it over like I mentioned before. We'll have to take that off. I don't know if now's the time to paint. I think it's not, so I'll probably pull it off if I need to, but get the windage tray, get the oil pickup, all that. I've got it all cleaned, but for the life of me, I can't get this little, I don't know, the gears, one of them comes out fine. One of them is just clamped onto the end here, and I'm not really sure. I tried vicing it off. It's stuck for the life of me, so either I gotta build a little tool or maybe just wrench on this thing, but I'm pretty sure it's just supposed to pressure fit on and pressure fit off, and I've got the new parts for the oil pump rebuild kit, so I just got to figure it out. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask my brother or bring it up there and see if he can help me pry it off, see if he's got to press or pull or I don't know, something. But yeah, I'm very happy that the pistons move. That's half the engine right there, so I'll keep you posted. Alright, so I went ahead and finally got everything out of the oil pump. I got a couple of new gears in there. Basically I had the rebuild kit, and I'm just about to put it back together. Got everything pretty well oiled up on the inside, and Guide online kind of said put some petroleum jelly in kind of all of the gear meshes just to keep it primed. So went ahead and did that, and I'm just about to put the cover on. Wasn't too bad, too scored. I mean, it's got a little bit. I think the on the top or the outside gear here, there was a good amount of play in the gear, and I think I've got all of that out. And hopefully I didn't overdo it, but when I originally had this in, the old one in here, this little guy here was really loose. I mean, talking like 1/4 inch gap here. So there was a lot of play in the end of the gear mesh. So I don't think that was correct. I think that was just old and probably part of the reason it was no good. But that scored a little bit on the plate here. It's not too bad. You can definitely see it. You can kind of feel it, but it's not really gouged. So I think it should be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put that plate back on, and then hopefully start mounting up the oil pump back on the engine. Getting the little pickup filter. I've also taken this guy apart. Already did this already, but basically took this little pressed metal off and got that little mesh screen on the inside really good and cleaned out. I mean, not good and cleaned out, but I cleaned it out. Didn't want to take the screen out, so I mostly just took some degreaser, sprayed it, cleaned it, whatever. So this guy should be ready to put back on as well, just for the pickup float. And then I will attach it on the engine. I'm going to hold off on the oil pan. My brother suggested not putting the pan back on just in case I drop something while doing the top end, which kind of makes sense. You know, if a lifter or something gets through one of those holes and I got to take the whole pan off and, you know, gasket, who knows if that'll be any good the second go around. So makes sense. I will keep rolling with this, and I'll probably update once I get this oil pump done. 40 pounds of torque, huh? Lies. Alright, maybe that needs a little context. So, I was cranking down the oil pump, basically plate, cover plate, whatever you want to call it, and I was actually really surprised. So I started cranking it down with the torque wrench. It said 40 pounds to 45 pounds in the book, so in the service manual. Started cranking it down, and it was getting tight, and not even close to 40. I mean, at least didn't feel like a whole lot of 40. And then it just sheared the whole bolt off. Surprisingly, I was able to get the little piece extracted out pretty easy. I just took a little pick here and just kind of, you know, turned it a little bit, and it actually came out by hand. So didn't have to do any, you know, screw extraction or anything like that. But that has me concerned about the other ones. So either I'm doing something horribly wrong, or those bolts are just really old. I don't really know. So I'm gonna hold up here and try and get a little more information before I keep going. So awesome.